Hello, and thank you very much for joining me in the studio today where we paint away the stress of everyday life. Now, I was thinking, it's soon to be that time of year when we see Santa Claus in the sky, and I thought it might be a good idea if I did a series of paintings for some Christmas cards. Maybe you could use these ideas, change them a little bit, and design your own Christmas cards. But without further ado, let's have a look at the palette, see what colours I'm going to be using today, and we'll discuss the painting in more detail.
Hey, welcome, thanks for stopping by. It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time.
I've got a basic palette set up. This is what's called a wet palette. It's got some tissue paper underneath, anything that's absorbent really, and I've got some greaseproof paper or parchment paper on top, and it's soaked with water. This leaves the surface damp, as you've heard me say before. I've got a little bit of my medium mix. I'm going to put a little bit of flow improver into the other jar there. So the colours I've got are yellow ochre. I've got a cobalt blue today. That's nice. Any blue you can, if you've got ultramarine blue or a processed blue, or I wouldn't use cerulean blue because it's got more of a green shade to it, but I'd use an ultramarine blue if you haven't got any cobalt blue. I got some Prussian blue, some Mars black and some white. It's as simple as that. So what we're going to do now today, I'm just going to put a bit of flow improver into my... I've had a lot of comments previously about some of the subjects that I've covered, like recycling and things like that, and it was... I'm not bothered about it. Let me just be straight and honest with you as my members, because you've come along and you know what I do and what I talk about, and subjects that I cover are very close to my heart, and I think that everybody is entitled to an opinion. But I thought what I would do today is we'll just talk and we'll just paint and we'll just have fun, and I want to thank you very much for joining me. But I thought today I would just try and get some sort of a Christmas card type of feeling to my painting that I'm doing, and I want to apologize if I'm not uploading frequently enough. It's because I have got a full-time job. I'm a full-time job as a window cleaner. YouTube doesn't pay me enough to live on this full time, so it's a balancing act that I find myself in at the moment of, do I give some time up to YouTube, and or do I concentrate on my own life and my business? If YouTube was paying me a little bit more money, if I could make a living full time out of YouTube, then this is what I would do for a living. But unfortunately YouTube doesn't work like that, and it's all down to views and the amount of adverts people watch, and it's a very fickle thing, is YouTube. And to be successful in YouTube, you know, you need a following of at least 500,000 subscribers to go full time these days. Whereas years ago, you know, 100,000 subscribers would give you a really good living. But it all depends on views. If your channel is not creating enough views, then you know you're not gonna get a living out of it really. So this is more of a thing that I do for love rather than to earn cash. And people don't realize this, especially if they watch on YouTube. They think that people are just making money right, left and centre, and that's not the case. Trust me, it really isn't. So anyway, that's enough of me waffling along. I just wanted to explain to you that if I am a bit late uploading things, then I do apologise. So all I'm doing now is just putting a few highlights into the clouds, just like that, just to make it look as if it's a little bit snowy, because I quite like quite like the snow effect. I'm going to put this in a bit thicker. My wife has asked me to do a painting for what we call the snug. It's a little area where we sit down and have a coffee and we read a book or something, or the kids come and watch a bit of TV, play their PlayStations, and it's just a nice little communal area that I've got in the house. It really is. So yeah. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get some more white. I'm going to go back into that Earl Grey and blue mix. I'm going to add a little bit more blue to it. This time I'm going to add a little bit of cobalt blue to it. So I'm bluing it up a bit. So what I want to do is, I'm just going to use the brush and make like a little bit of I want a bit bluer than that. There we go. I want to make some sort of a mountain shape there like that. Just bringing that down. You decide what shape your mountain is going to be. Just dragging the brush down on the side there like that. Just play. Just play. Let it happen. Let it happen. I'm just going to change my brush to a slightly smaller brush. So I'm going to get some white now. Just to go to the sides of that. Just like that. What I want to do now, what I really need to do, is bring that sky down a bit higher, closer than that. So let's get that down there. Just rubbing in a bit of that white back into the brush. And bringing that down like that. Getting a bit of that blue. Get that bit of that blue in there. Just drag a brush a little bit down, just put a bit of highlight this in on these peaks. Let's get a little bit more. I just want to go a little bit bluer. I just want maybe just a little bit of sharpness in there, I don't want to go too dark. Don't want to go too dark. Let's just bring that down there. Just add a little bit of snow in. Like that. So, let's bring a bit of snow on the front of this mountain now, like that. Let's just add a little bit of colour in. There we go. I'll be okay. I want to go a little bit darker now. And I like doing snow. I think painting snow is really nice. I really do. I like painting snow. So what I'm going to do is come in a little bit darker. A bit darker. Bringing this mountain down in front of that one. Getting a bit of snow in there. I like to paint thick as well sometimes. There you go. Getting that. Give me a line. I'm going to put a river in there as well. Let's get this shape that I'm looking for. Bit more blue. I wanted to make it look nice and cold. Thinking of mountains as I'm painting, which is a bit of fun. Just put in some shadow, dragging across. There we go. Let's get some white. Just using a brush. You can use a palette knife if you want to. That's fine also. If you find it easier using a palette knife, and you can use a palette knife. It's just sometimes it's nice to see that, you know, you can use a brush if you want to. There's no rules in art. Don't let anybody tell you any different. There's no rules in art. There you go. Slowly drag in just a little bit of paint across like this. Getting rid of some of them sharp edges like that. Whee. Let's make that just a little bit darker in there. There you go. So we got some mountains coming up, some nice glacier type of mountains. Glacier mountains. I did an iceberg the other week. That's what started all this off. People complaining about me talking about global warming and that. Go figure. I think it's a very important thing to talk about, but there we go. It doesn't please all the people all the time, and there's nothing you can do about that. But it doesn't worry me, as I've said, so don't worry. It doesn't really worry me whatsoever. You know, I look at it like this is my video channel, and I just bring people into my world and discuss what I think is relevant, and they don't have to watch. There's more going on in the world anyway than worrying about what people think. So get this really nice deep snow-covered mountain there. And just let your brush do the work for you. Don't worry too much about thinking. Don't think. Just let it happen. You know, sometimes you can go in and think, oh, I could change that. Maybe I could put a slightly darker blue there. Oh, I don't like that, so I'll add a bit more white to it. And just let it ride. There you go. Bring in a nice bank of colour in there now, like this. You can see that gap that I haven't painted. Well, that's not what I'd planned. I did plan on putting a river in there, but I can see a river now. I can see it just using Prussian blue, because I think Prussian blue is a nice icy type of colour. It's got that bit of black to it. It's not blue, but I notice ice sometimes can look quite dark. Letting the brush strokes work for you. Don't overblend. There's no need to overblend with something like that. Just going straight into Prussian blue. See how much paint I got on my brush. Just let it do its job. There you go. So we got a bit of a river, cold, really cold river flowing along. I'm just checking my cameras are all working. It's annoying sometimes that I should say, not we. I keep thinking that you're in here with me, but you are really in your spirit, so that's okay too. I talk in a way sometimes, and I don't realise my cameras are not working. So I've got really thick paint on my brush, because I want those lines of paint to come through like that. Now I'm going to get a bit of blue now, a bit of blue and grey into this part. Because I want a bit of undertone colour. Just use up what you've got on the palette, it doesn't matter, it's just a bit of an undertone colour. I'm going to put some snow over the top of that in a second. I know it looks a mess, but trust me, it always works out. It always works out. So we need a bit of grey over there as well. There we go. Now at this point, I am going to dry that off and go and make myself a nice cup of coffee. Oh, I enjoyed that. It was a nice cup of coffee, that was. It's nice and been, I don't know, I've picked up a bit of stress this last couple of weeks. I'm wondering if it's the same where you live, because I'm dealing with things okay, but sometimes stress can sneak up on you. And this is why I think painting is a wonderful thing to do. So what I'm doing is just lightening up the one side. I've been stuck in already well over a week. Oof. And I'm one of these people that like to get out and about, you know. Don't be afraid to use your finger sometimes. People say, oh, you can't use your finger, but why not? Who said you can't? As I said, there's no rules in art. So just brighten up certain areas. There we go. Just adding a little bit of snow here and there. Get your fingers in there. Get active. Sometimes the best blend you can have is a finger. It really is. So, like I said, snow is white, but we need to put some undercolour down as well. And that just allows us just to see a little bit of the ground underneath. There we are. There's a little bit of contrast there. And that's all we need to do really, isn't it? So we need to bring this down a bit now. There's some snow being falling there. It's been really heavy. Some of the ice has been melting and the snow has been flowing down the mountainside and going on to making a little river. There you go. Make your stories up as you go along, that's important. Gives a life to your painting then. Gives life to your painting. See what I mean? A nice like just the ice. It's just turning to ice. It's that cold. It's been that cold that the river is just turning icy, but it's still flowing a little bit underneath. And that's the thing. Okay, now let me wash this brush. I'm gonna maybe find a. I got a little. Where's that gone? I just found this little tiny little fan brush. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm gonna try. I want to make a bit of green. That's why I got the yellow ochre out for. To make that, it's like an olivey green. I find it's like it's a really nice type of dull green. Then, well, it's a really nice dull type of green that is. So I'm just gonna. Just put a few, maybe a little distant trees like this. just in the background there, like that. And let's just make it a little bit bluer. Let's put a few. Trees this side. A little bit of green against the blue looks really good. Put a bit more snow in there in a second. Okay, so I'm going to darken this up again. A bit of Prussian blue this time. A bit of Prussian blue and yellow ochre. A bit of Prussian blue and yellow ochre. Make a nice dark colour. If you haven't got a fan brush, just use any brush that you think you can work well with. That's the most important thing. We'll put one tree there. We'll put another tree, say there. Oops, my hand slipped then. And we'll put another tree, say there, like that. We'll just use the edge of this brush and one there. One more there. Little baby one. I'm going to put over there. All on his own. Oh, he hasn't got a friend. Never mind. There we go. A tree over there. Let's put a couple of trees. Just like that. Do you sing when you're painting? Sometimes I sing. Or hum. I've gone to be quite a hummer. I hum a lot. Must be an age thing, I think. I don't know. I love painting Christmas scenes. We have had a lot of upset this year, so it's nice to do something decent like this, I think. Let's get a bit of white now on the brush. Put a little bit of snow on these trees, like this. I paint one of these every year, just to put up as like a little design. In the, snug, as I said, goes on the wall, and it's just a little Christmas scene. Just put a bit of shadow down there like that. Put a bit of snow there now in a second. There you go. Let's get some more snow in. Just bed them in a bit like that. And we can put some more snow on these trees. Don't overdo it. Just enough. Just enough. Get some snow then. And just layer it down like this. Get a big lump of paint and just layer it in. You can thicken your paint up with some of my thickening gel if you want, and you can do that and it'll look really like a Bob Ross type of snow effect if you want to put that on there. A little bit of green showing through there like that. This sets it off, I think. I think that just sets it off a bit. We could get I got a very thin brush here. I'm going to get a little bit of black this time. I want to darken that up a bit. And maybe just put an old broken little branch there, and maybe a couple of twigs just sticking out. Who knows? You make it up. It's your painting. Get a bit of snow. Bed these in. There you go. Just add into it a little bit. Let's get a little bit of white paint now. A little bit of my retarder just to thin it down a bit. What I want to do now is just put a few little lines across. Just like that. And maybe get a bit of Prussian blue. I tell you what we'll do. Just wash that out very quickly. Get a bit of Prussian blue. This is a good little trick. Put a little bit of shadow just under the bank like that, and it'll make it stand out more. There you go. It's an amazing little trick.
Hey, welcome, thanks for stopping by.
Just an amazing.
It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time.
There you go. And there's a little winter scene that you can use for a Christmas card.